So let's introduce ourselves. Who are we?
Great. I'll start.
Ladies first.
I'm Megan. I am our operations director. I'm originally from Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania. I came to Panama almost 3 years ago now as a Peace Corps volunteer. I said I'd go anywhere in the world and they put me in Panama. So I worked a lot in some small communities and schools here for about 2 years. I met these guys and decided to stay. So I love going on the tours and sharing all of the cultural knowledge that I learned about Panama with potential new expats. And that's me. Short and sweet.
My name's Rod Larrabee. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Came here 9 years ago. I was an online marketer. I had my own business, and I thought I was semi-retired, but then I met Oscar, and then we came up with other ideas. So we started doing some tours, some local tour stuff together. But what we really wanted to do, and what Oscar's done for many years, is help expats make that transition. I had a rough transition when I came here. Oscar helped me out and saved my butt. And, you know, that's my goal too. And don't worry, those of you who don't really know us on this tour, we're not here to sell you a tour tonight. We're going to give you all the information you asked for. We also run a company called Panama Expat Service that's set up for people who have already been here and don't need a tour of the country. They already know where they want to live. So we can help you that way too. But we're an open book. You ask a question, we're going to give you the honest answer that we know with our combined over 20 years experience helping expats move here. Oscar?
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for taking the time to join us tonight. My name is Oscar. I'm originally from Cali, Colombia. I've been in Panama for 11 years and a half. And I was before living in Costa Rica for 3 years and a half, working in tourism industry. Studied hotel management, hotel industry in Colombia. Back in 2011, being a foreigner, just arrived. I got here in 2009, but I saw there was an opportunity because through my own experience, and I speak the language, but how to get things done, and sometimes how to deal with things with among this country specific. So I just thought, well, if we have the trouble, I can imagine someone that doesn't speak the language, how it's going to be even more challenging. So that's why I started offering private services to help several folks to interpretation or private transportation or just taking it to a safe spots in a safe way. And just basically, I became an expert to removing the red tape of Panama. So basically, I'm your facilitator. I'm jack for all the trades. I'll be your driver, your guide, your shield, your sword, your bartender, your matron, your waiter, everything. So yeah, so I've been here working with Rod since 2013, 14, 13.
Yep, one of those.
One of those. And met beautiful Megan 3 years ago, almost three, yeah. So very happy to be part of this team and very happy to always get to meet new people and keep doing our job, which is trying to facilitate your transition or to show if Panama makes sense for you.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to get this thing rolling. I'm going to shortly go into, is it the right time for you to come to Panama? We'll talk about friendly nations, and then we'll open up the Q&A to everybody. If you're thinking of questions right now and aren't really listening to me, feel free to type the questions into the chat, and we'll get to them, and we'll chronologically go through the chat and get to any questions. You'll also be able to ask your question just using your microphone. Okay, I am going to share my screen. What I'm showing you today will be provided in tomorrow's recap email that I send to everybody, okay? So everyone on this call will get a copy of the recording and they'll get this document. Now, people ask us, is it safe to come to Panama? If you just look at the numbers or go on Facebook and look, oh, look at all the cases they have, and you don't dig into the facts, you actually don't know. So I'm going to compare Panama against USA and Canada, because that's basically who's on this call. And all these charts have sources backed up, which you'll be able to see when I send you the documentation tomorrow, where I got them from. I did not make these up myself. And if you look at the three charts, Panama is on top, and USA and Canada. Now, can I get a nod? Can you guys see my screen? Just nod. Yeah, everyone's seen. Perfect. Okay, so it looks like Panama is in a little spike, and USA, pretty big spike. Canada, pretty big spike. Okay, so are we in a spike or not? That's the big question. So if you scroll down here, let's look at this a bit bigger, okay? When Panama decided to reopen its economy, it did it very slowly. They call it progressively. I don't know what that means, but they opened one industry at a time. Over like 1 week, we're going to open this. 1 week, we're going to open that with restrictions and stuff. That started on August 15th. On August 15th, I apologize for the number. I corrected it below. We were doing 2,500 tests a day. Now, they have ramped that up to 10,000 tests a day. Like for the last 7 days, we've done over 10,000, averaging over 10,000 tests every day. It was quite an accomplishment. It was quite a goal that they set out to do. But so we went from 2,500 tests a day with 650 new cases a day to 10,000 tests a day with an average of 1,100 new cases. So we had a 400% increase in testing. It resulted in only a 40% increase in cases. And our positivity rate went from 35% to 11. Now, the one thing to remember when you're looking at positivity rate, how testing's done. We don't do sole random testing as it's mostly done in Canada and the US right now. We do only symptomatic testing and then extreme contact tracing. An entire MINSA team, MINSA is, you'll hear that word tonight a lot, is our health department. A team of people, once they find a positive, sits down with that person and they go back 2 weeks. Every single person they've been in contact with, they go find those people and they do the test. And then if that person doesn't have the ability to isolate in their own home, like they might not be showing symptoms, but they still should isolate for those 14 days, they find a place for them to isolate. So so you're going to have a higher positivity rate because they're pulling a lot more people right out of society who have that, who are positive for the virus. So then we move into, these are the documents to sustain what I say about the increase in testing. They come from ourworlddata.org. And this shows Panama's testing, and this is from, the date here is actually August the 15th on the chart. That doesn't show that here, but I selected August 15th to November 21st. We started at this number and went to that number. It's a 400% increase in testing. And then Canada US had a 60% increase in testing, and Canada had a 70% increase in testing. So if you go back and look at those first numbers I showed you, Panama is doing excellent with a 400% increase in testing, meaning that if we were testing 600 positive cases a day, we should really be having 2,400 positive cases a day. But we have way less than that. So to redo this graph, it would be going down if you add the other axes of the number of tests per day. And you'll see on worlddata.com graphs like that. So that being said, the next thing that's most important, there's two really big numbers in COVID. One is your active cases, and two is your percent positive. And well, actually three. Three is your ICU beds. Now, like especially the ICU beds, if that gets out of control and you're at 80, 90, 100, 120% capacity, your state or your province or your country's in trouble. You're like whatever your feelings are towards COVID, if you're at 120% ICU beds, people are dying in the hallways if you don't solve that data. So if we look at active cases, this is the way the three countries look. The top one's Panama. So we have gone from 26,000 to about 15,000. That was yesterday's number, active cases. The US has gone from, these is in the hundreds of thousands to the millions. And Canada is also quite a bit out of control under their active cases. So you want to be in a country that is active since opening. This is opening day at the top of our list here, October 15th at this peak. Since we reopened our economy, our active cases have continually going down. So there we go. For the last 2 weeks, consistently, day after day, according to MINSA's website, we've had more recovered cases than new cases. So that is the new trend in Panama. So it's looking better and better every day. Now, when Panama started reopening, and you hear rumors online and stuff like that, oh, we're going to shut down, Panama's going to shut down the economy again. They're going to go put us back into quarantine. There was 4 things they insisted of. The Panamanian government, this is in writing on their decree from October 23rd, 24th, that stated there's 4 milestones or goal points that if we go over, it's a problem. One was the positivity rate must stay below 30%. It's now at 11. The other, the death rate must be below 3%. It's gone. It started at 2.1 in August and is now at 1.9, which I wasn't able to get today's rate, but we might be the lowest in all 60 American countries, like Caribbean, South America, North America, at 1.9%. So they're doing a good job in the hospitals here. Hospital beds can't be any less than 20% capacity. Sorry, 20%.
ICU?
No, I mean, there has to be, yeah, like 20%.
Availability?
Yes, availability. Yeah, we're now at 50%. ICU beds, not less than 15. We currently have 150 in ICU, and we have 501 ICU beds available. And those numbers continually are going down in the last 3 months. So, but here's the thing. This, some people aren't happy about either. When they phone us and we talk to them about a tour, there are restrictions in Panama, and these are them. You must have a negative COVID test to enter the country within 48 hours. Masks are mandatory in public, everywhere, folks. Masks are mandatory in public. Social distancing is mandatory in public. Your temperature taking and hand sanitizing to enter any retail establishment. That's a retail store, that's a restaurant, I went into Mike's office today. Guess what? I had my temperature taken and I had my hand sanitized for the 5th time today. And we do have an 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. nightly curfew. Now, all these things have not affected our tours. Tomorrow, you're going to see some photos from our last few tours when I send out the email. Certainly, the 11 p.m. curfew did not affect it because when I don't usually go on the tour, but I've been going on the tour. I don't know how these guys do it. I'm in bed by 9. Like, my goodness. I don't think we had anyone stay up past 11. We can stay up. You just can't go out walking the streets.
We stay very busy.
Latin America is a very party culture, and closing, shutting everything down at 11 p.m. just because our bars are not open and our dance discos are not open. You can still get a drink at a restaurant. They kind of turned into our bars. Eh? So there's not, there's not a problem there. But just that curfew seems to be serving as well as keeping the parties down and the spread, the transmission.
And also with the access to some of the beaches, they're very restricted about it. They're mandatory at 4 p.m. No alcohol involved, and cannot be groups more than 7 people. It has to be the same like a family. Otherwise, it has to be distance, wearing a mask while you're on the beach. Of course, now on the water, but no alcohol allowed, no speakers, no any temptation, any room for anybody to start like a party or a gathering.
Yeah. So we still see the beaches. Yes, couples can go for a walk on the beach by themselves if they want. And if they're in the family unit, sit down, take off your mask, and enjoy yourself. And get a suntan. You certainly don't want to get that suntan with your mask on. Like, we know what that looks like. So, could you imagine?
It's a little strange looking.
Yeah. Okay. There's only one more thing here, and I'm done. Today, this was announced. Actually, it was yesterday. Panama received the Safe Travel stamp from the World Travel and Tourism Council, WTTC. It was one of only 20 countries in the world to have that right now. So it's a big thing. I'll send the article to you guys tomorrow and the link. So these are the types of things that you need to know. We're not going to sit here and tell you, yeah, we feel safe. It's not our decision. It is your decision whether you think it's safe to come to Panama, whether you're coming on our tour or whether you are just coming to check it out yourself. If you're not comfortable wearing a mask everywhere you go, yeah, put it off for 6 months.
Yep.
You know, if you're not comfortable having your temperature taken 12 times a day, so put it off. We on the tour take your temperature every morning. We're required to by MINSA. Sorry, we just follow those guidelines. Nothing on our tours lacks. In fact, our people have told us it's just working around these little conditions and slight little hiccups. We've had a lot of fun with. So. So anyways, that's my little thing. Like I said, you'll get a full copy of this with all the links to all the sources so you can study it yourself. And that's is it safe to come to Panama? You decide. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, a lot of you might have heard, there is all kinds of rumors around Facebook that the Friendly Nations visa is going to change, okay? It was so strong on Facebook that on the Friday that it went out, they were telling people this is changing on Monday. By Monday at noon, it's going to be changed. I know people that, I know one guy that flew here over the weekend to meet with a lawyer at 8 o'clock trying to get himself grandfathered. Well, that was a waste of time because he didn't bring the right paperwork. So first of all, don't get your advice from Facebook. There has been some rumors about changes to the Friendly Nations for as long as I can remember. There's actually been one minor change with the work visa since I came in on Friendly Nations in 2011. But right now, there's been a moratorium on any changes with that immigration program for the next 6 months. We were told by our lawyer, who is a member of one of the administrator members of the Panama Lawyers Association, that they are backing off any changes. We're good to go. And I don't, I can't make a prediction there. Friendly Nations is the immigration department's biggest moneymaker. Making changes to it, they're just going to kick themselves in the foot. Someone's going to lose their job because they won't have the money to pay them. So, okay. That is, do we have any questions regarding the coming to Panama or Friendly Nations thing before we go to the Q&A? And people start typing your questions in the chat for the Q&A, which will start shortly. I muted you all, so if you're trying to talk right now, we're not hearing you.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How do they implement people wearing masks and following the rules that they have? How is that being monitored?
You get a $50 traffic ticket if you don't have a mask on. And nobody,
Yes.
the compliance level here is 99%.
No.
Wow,
I basically don't remember not seeing one with, like, people wear them in their cars when they're by themselves. I don't even do that. So they're wearing them on their bicycles when they're out biking and when they're out jogging. So people just comply here.
that's
So
great
it's
to hear.
not been a problem. So
Thanks.
yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
What about the vaccine? How are they going to distribute the vaccine? They're talking here in the United States. I just saw it on today that they're hoping by mid-December to have something going.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I did do some research on there. I forgot that page. Panama has orders both in with Pfizer and AstraZeneca. Panama is already set up with their cooling boxes and with all their vials. They purchased everything they need. They have 6 million doses unordered. Last week, they paid their deposit to AstraZeneca. That's probably be the first one we get because Pfizer is not going to give anyone anything until the U.S. gets their share. So, but Latin America is part of a program that guarantees the equal distribution of the vaccine to all the countries here in Latin America. And AstraZeneca will probably be shipping in early January. And it's going to be the same program here. Our medical and health workers are going to get it first. And then the people with underlying conditions. And so we will be on a similar schedule, but our distribution is much easier. We have 4 million people in the square mileage of Rhode Island. So, okay, I think I'm exaggerating there a little bit, but you know, so the distribution's, you know, pretty easy, and it's going to happen quick here. And there's no mandatory, like we're a democratic country, people, you know, they want to make it available to whoever wants it, and it is also free.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome, then.
We have another question from Sharon about Friendly Nations. Would people with existing Friendly Nations visa be exempt from any future changes?
Yes. I can give you an example. I got my Friendly Nations visa in 2012, and it came with a permanent work visa. Now the Friendly Nations, since 2016 or so, only comes with a 3-year work visa that you have to renew, and you have to have a reason for the work visa. Well, I still have my indefinite work visa. So all visas, it's like the grandfathered in process here. So that's why a lot of people, and I don't know what the story was with this rumor on Facebook, even the admins of groups started pulling it down because they found out it was fake. But there were lawyers in there just trying to scrape out some business, getting people into their offices to start the process. And, you know, unless it's filed with immigration, it's not grandfathered. But I know that we lost some money there, and I was very disappointed for people sharing the rumor where we didn't, like there were some of our clients that were upset with us, and they phoned us, well, why aren't you telling us about these changes? Well, because they're not true. They haven't been authorized yet. So nothing's going to happen for 6 months. And probably nothing will happen after that either, but who knows? We'll see. Mm-hmm.
So can I follow that up?
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably not quite as on top of this as we should be, but we hadn't come across, well, don't get your news from Facebook, of course, good advice, but we hadn't come across the idea that there were changes being planned in the visa / expat immigrant type rules. As far as you know, are there none, but there's no guarantees, or where is that?
Well, where the original rumor came out that the Friendly Nations, they were going to add in a real estate portion, that if you bought a home for X number of dollars, you could get that would be required for the Friendly Nations. Surprisingly, 2 days later, immigration actually introduced a new visa for that, the investment visa for that purpose. So I don't know if people were just confused on what visas or not, but right now immigration says there are no forthcoming changes to Friendly Nations for at least 6 months.
Thank you.
And they'll probably forget about it. That seems to be how Panama works. Oh, are we going to change that?
Just a drink when you come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll have a drink too.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I didn't know I was on the speaker.
What are you drinking?
I have a question.
Sure.
This is going back to the COVID test. Panama requires you to have a test within 48 hours prior to traveling to Panama. Some of the countries, you can't even get back a COVID test within 48 hours. So how does that all work?
Well, some countries it is a problem. In the USA, over the last 3 months, we've gone through somewhere between 50 and 70 people that have said, I can't get a test in 48 hours, and we found them all test 48 hours. So we have a list compiled in the US. If anyone wants it, just email us after. Different locations. And little things like Houston is starting it on the 9th of December, testing right at the airport. Well, it's actually a mail-in test, but and other airports are doing. Tampa has a $50 test right at the airport. San Francisco is supposed to. So that's changing in the US, but some countries I've heard it's a problem. Now, if you come here without one, Panama will test you. I can't guarantee how long that's going to last because they're finding people coming here that are positive, and then Panama's footing the bill for the health care. So I can't guarantee that's going to last forever. But right now, when you arrive in Panama without a test, you give them $50 and they give you a 15-minute rapid test here.
Good, that answers.
Is there a quarantine though, even if you're negative?
No, there is no quarantine in Panama. If you're positive, you get taken away to a COVID hotel hospital. And you don't have a choice in the matter.
Okay,
If you can't fly out, then you gotta go somewhere. Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Mhm. That's why we tell everyone, get tested before you come. Even if you gotta spend the money, even if your insurance doesn't cover it, to get it done, because you don't want, I know the odds are small, but it's not a pretty thing to have it happen here.
But tagging on to that, what are the lines like at the Panama airport when we're leaving? We may get a
Yeah,
test.
between 15 minutes and an hour, if you're going through the COVID testing line. So they are pretty ramped up. The airport's only at 25% capacity, so it's not bad inside. People are getting through faster than when we were doing our regular tours and pickups last year, when the airport was at full capacity. Mhm.
We had a question from Jeremy if tourists will be able to receive the vaccine here.
That's a good question. Currently, anyone can receive our regular, like our flu shots and stuff like that. You don't have to show ID. So I can't give you that answer yet, though. Mhm.
Get a handle on your camera. I have no idea.
What?
Any other questions about arriving to Panama, the friendly nations?
Let's just move into Q&A. If someone's got a
Okay.
question about that, pop it in the chat or spell it out. We're getting a list of long questions.
Okay, great.
I mean, this gave,
What are your tours?
Yes.
Sorry.
Jeremy would like to know, what are our tours?
What are our tours?
Yeah.
What do we do?
What will we do? First of all, we have fun.
Yeah.
Second of all, we have fun. And third of all, we learn. Basically, what we do in our tours is an introduction of what it takes for you to, rather you like it or not, Panama. From different points of view, you get to experience culture, you get to experience the ins and outs of what it, sometimes is, here in Panama, we have a black zone, a white zone, an extended gray zone. So technically speaking, that's pretty much in Latin America. So we're gonna show you on that week, that is how much of the gray zone it is. And what are the cons, what are the pros of living in Panama? Also the culture, we show you what it is, different aspects of the culture, how Panamanians like approach foreigners like us, how to like be a good expat in Panama, and to see different different types of food. We actually, this could be work like a gourmet tour, like literally we got to try different type of food. You guys get to try different type of things. We got to see what is farmed here, what we produce. What
Where
else?
do we go?
We go to different spots. First of all, Panama City. So we go to a lot of areas. Right now, it's unfortunately we cannot show you the Panama Canal like the visitor center because COVID restrictions. We do a short stop at the outside the locks of Pedro Miguel. We talk about the history. We go to different areas like the Causeway, some areas in the downtown area. Then we go to Coronado. We show one of the main spots near the city to see different options. We get to see one or two places that could be an example like for rent or to buy. Then we go to all the way one shot to Chipre. That's the province of Herrera. That's a beautiful one day. And then we do quite a bit of the driving. But we're on the way, we're talking about what's going on and what is the things, like what is the reason. We go to Pedací, we go to Las Lajas, then we finish in Boquete. The last day is a little bit of the wild card. We always say this. We have the option to go to Volcan, or we can just stay in the Boquete area. But that pretty much will decide as a group for benefit of everybody what will be the last day spent. And we still have very good times having dinner together, lunch together, and sometimes we have a fun situations. Very fun situations, like being a waiter.
Yeah.
It's Dave
It's
Latham.
a full service package. It's also included when you decide to move here, we help you through that process. So we can set you up with a rentals person to find your first rentals. We can help you open a bank account. We can set you up with the immigration, find you the health insurance, and find you a mover. And we do all, that's all included in the tour price.
Yeah. And by the way, during all the things we're doing, we're trying to have fun. That's one thing. That's my message.
Did you say that
We
yet?
have fun.
Did you have a question, Dave?
Yeah, I have a question. We are, our tour, I think, is June 10th. Is that when you've got one scheduled, something like that?
Yeah.
We're already set up. But we're going to fly down early, probably rent a car and drive around for a while, get to know the area near Panama City ourselves. First of all, the first question is, we would plan on taking our car back and turning it over to, it's going to either be Avis or Hertz. Would we be able to schedule you guys to pick us up at the rent-a-car drop-off? Number one, it'd be at the airport. So that would be
Yeah, we do pickups on the Thursday. If it's on the arrival day, we can pick you up wherever you are.
okay. Super. All right, then the next thing is we're going to plan on spending an extra probably 5 nights and 4 days in Boquete. We would plan on following you guys to the airport in David and picking a car up in David. So what we're going to want to do then is to have our tour return flight from David to Panama scheduled for a different day. Is that?
That's no problem. We can even help you if you want to stay at the hotel we're staying at. We can give you.
Yeah, that's probably what we'd like to do.
Just give you a corporate rate. It's a suite
Just
that we
avoid
stay at.
moving again, spend another 5 nights in Boquete or something.
Yeah, on our
Yeah,
tours, we
no
make
problem.
those arrangements with all our guests. So
Yeah.
just about 3 months before, let's get together on a phone call and start setting that up.
All right, sounds good.
Mhm.
And if nobody's busy between the the early January, or whatever, what day is it? Let's say June the 1st through June the 10th, and you want to make a little extra money as a personal guide around the Panama City up to Coronado area, raise your hand, or maybe you can recommend somebody.
Okay, we'll look at that.
All right.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Dave was talking about Boquete, and a number of you were also talking about Boquete. Gay and I have been in Boquete probably half a dozen times over the last 10 years. And what we find is Boquete is getting to be very, very crowded. And I'm wondering if we would be losing, if we retire down there, if we would be losing the Panamanian culture and all that goes into that by moving to Boquete. In other words, has it gotten too big? Has it gotten too Americanized or Canadianized? And are we going to be not experiencing what we want to experience in another country?
It's a good question. There's a few thousand expats in Boquete, and it's a population of 25,000 people. So there's still plenty of locals and indigenous here. I love Boquete. I think it's a beautiful melting pot of cultures. If you live in town, maybe it can feel crowded, but there's plenty of little communities in the mountains or a little bit outside of Boquete that are a lot smaller and quieter.
We actually live in we live in a Panamanian neighborhood.
Yeah.
The only other expats on my street are my 2 neighbors right here. So
We were looking at living up in Jaramillo, which is not that far from town. And I think there are more Panamanians living up in that area than there are elsewhere. But Boquete as a town itself, are there more Americans and Canadians than there are Panamanians? Because we'd like to get away from Americans, frankly.
Me too.
Honestly, all up to you. If you put in the effort to get to know the Panamanians, to learn Spanish, then that will happen. So plenty of Americans move here and they don't. They just hang out with the other American expats, and that's fine too. So it's really up to you what kind of experience you want to have.
Love to chime in.
You make the life you want to have. It's pretty simple, but we have a definitely lots. It's way more
What?
locals than foreigners in Boquete, and generally speaking, everywhere.
Wait a minute.
So it's gonna be wherever you wanna. If you are really into it, learning Spanish, intermingle with the locals, that's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna stop you from that. And then you have the comfort zone, getting get to some extra as friends, and then you'll find that too. And here we have is like Megan says, a melting pot of different cultures, different ideas, different ways of seeing life. Some people might agree, some people don't agree, but everyone is happy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I was reading on one of the somebody's emails, and the question I have is the paperwork that you have to send to the consulate in Washington, D.C. Can you, by any chance, now this one fellow said he sent it to Dallas, Texas, I believe, and it got back to him within a week. Is that true, false, or do you know?
It's like that all depends what you're talking about, what visa and what instruction you're getting from your lawyer. Always follow the lawyer's instructions. And there are some state requirements that certain states are required to go to this consulate, others go to the other consulate. So I can't really advise you on that without knowing the entire situation and knowing what your lawyer told you. If you're just looking for authentications, yeah, that's a tough one because I would need your whole story, which you can't do on a public forum.
No.
If you want to try to email me, info, can you type my email to everyone? Yeah, just type in the email in the chat. If you want to try to tell me an email, I need to know the pensionado visa, what you're doing, what papers are getting authenticated, where you live, your state of
Now, should we start this before we go to Panama? Or, I mean, some of it we have to start. I understand that. We have to send to the consulate, but should I be talking to an attorney now?
Yeah, oh yeah, like don't even start your immigration process without speaking to an attorney first. Because
okay.
You're doing things twice. You got to hire them anyway. There's no way for you to do it yourself. It's against the law in Panama. So you got to find out and get your quotes, talk to a couple of attorneys, find one you're comfortable with. If you want a referral, send us an email. We'll happily give you one, but one we've used for 10 years. And they will tell you what paperwork you need and what you have to do with that paperwork.
Okay.
And it's best to do it before you come here. It can be done once a year, but it gets complicated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yippee.
Right.
Next,
we had a little conversation going on about humidity in Boquete. How's the humidity and rain in Boquete?
Yeah. So if you're familiar with the term raining cats and dogs, that's Boquete. and the time of the rainy season. We do have a dry season, yeah, but in the rainy season, yep. Yeah. Now that this year, unfortunately, and very sadly for what was crazy going on with the hurricanes, on the November 4th, we have the amount of rain like 15 days straight, and that caused a lot of damage in the area of another side of the Chiriquí province. But that's unusual. Yeah. The last time this happened was back in 2008.
So the rainy season is progressive here, and the humidity isn't as bad, and guarantee it's not as bad as down in David or Panama City, because our temperature is only like 75 to 78 degrees. Mm-hmm. So even if you have 80% humidity at 75 degrees, it doesn't feel like 80% humidity at 95 degrees.
Yeah.
So you do, my opinion, you need a dehumidifier if you live in Boquete. Yeah. I have one, 1,200 square foot house. I got one. I run it. I put it in the closet for January through April. I take it out in May. I might use it once or twice a week. And by September, I turn it on and it runs until about now, November, end of November. and
Are
then they'll get ready for the closet again.
Yep.
Are people using air conditioners?
Seldom, very few.
Very few, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly you just open the window, maybe a fan, and they'll do the job.
Yeah, the high temperatures here are 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So, and at night it's always 65.
Yeah.
Sometimes 60.
What about whole house? What do we used to call those things? Swamp. You have a giant fan in your ceiling and it sucks air. Basically, a whole house dehumidifier thing.
A swamp cooler?
Yeah, never seen those.
Swamp cooler. Is that what they were called?
Yeah.
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 No, we don't have those. Only the regular fan that some people put in the ceiling. But
Yeah,
that's
ceiling
just for-
fan stuff.
That's just a regular job.
Yeah, ceiling fans in the rooms will help a lot.
Yeah.
But one dehumidifier, you won't
In the internet.
in October and November.
Yeah.
Not muted. I have a question about the rain. What's the progress on the road to the ferry to go to Bocas?
What is the situation right now?
Oh, I heard in Austria, there's 2 roads open now. There's 2 paths through.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you can get by, recommended 4-wheel drive, take it slow, go in the morning, not in the afternoon when you get rain.
Definitely.
So with the landslide though, did they get it cleared? Because it was closed for a while.
Oh yeah,
Or-
but to rebuild the road's gonna be months.
Yeah. To rebuild, it's gonna be a month.
They built roads around the
Yeah.
cable.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right now, it's a muddy experience. Fun.
We
Yeah,
haven't
over
done
there.
it yet, so we can't give you firsthand experience.
Yeah.
But we know, I've heard from some people that did it this last weekend, and it took them an extra about an hour to get there. So.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Last time we were in Boquete, Gay and I had breakfast at a juice bar downtown.
Uh-huh.
And we sat with half a dozen other expats at this. We just invited ourselves to sit down. And we asked the question, do you like it here? And do you wish you had not come, or are you glad you are here? 4 out of 6 said that they have been following international living, that they are now, they're looking at and view as international lying. And they are regretting that they moved to Boquete or moved to Panama. And I wonder if there's any truth in what they were saying. More specifically, if we read international living, is there a motivation on behalf of that organization to get people to come to Panama? And should we be taking it with a grain of salt?
I've heard that same thing.
International living, there's not really a motivation for them to come here. Typically, their writers live here and love it here. And they will, I don't know, over exaggerating here. Like, can you live here on $300 a month? No. Okay. So you like,
Or you probably wouldn't want to.
yeah. They aren't set up that they get paid if people come here. They want people to buy their subscription, so on a monthly basis, so you get more information.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that if these people you talk to, and we find this all the time, that aren't happy and want to go back, which is, we're not going to lie to you here, like what percentage? 20% of people that move here probably end up moving back again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes because the expectation. So
Exactly.
what's one of the thing is that we're doing the tour is how your expectation is here, drop it slowly here. Because when you get here to Panama, you realize you're not in Kansas anymore.
You know how many people I know that have moved here that have never been here,
Yeah.
that have only took the advice of places online?
Yeah.
That's why, don't even believe the articles that we write on our website. Don't believe them.
Yeah.
Come here and check it out.
Yeah.
If you want us to show you around, we will. If not, go rent a car and drive around the country for 3 weeks.
Another
That's
thing,
the only way you'll figure it out.
yeah, another thing, the people, like I have personally see people looking and frustrated because they go to this high-end restaurant and they say, that was so disappointing because I thought I was gonna pay only $4 because that's what I read online. And yes, you can have a $4 meal
Show you a $4
in a
meal.
local restaurant, not in a high-end restaurant. That's just common sense. But people
Good
sometimes
example.
is really sometimes people assume then no matter where you go, I don't know how you assume that, but people do that. They're gonna go to a 5-star hotel and expect a $4 meal.
And a lot of people try to bring their country here.
Yeah.
Panama is not the USA. Panama is not Canada, folks. If you move here, you gotta leave that behind. Panama's different.
Yeah.
And if that's not good enough for you, just don't spend a fortune coming here, because you might be checking it out for maybe a year before you decide this is for me. I want to live here.
Yeah.
We just spent
Just
a month
nice,
there.
you know, here, Panama, it's beautiful. But when you make a decision to move, it's because you want to change.
Yeah.
Panama could be that place that will gonna give you that positive change. And the only way for you to find out is being here, experience yourself. Because either when you are with us, you can learn and you will hear from us as much as we can from a neutral standpoint. But in the end, it's up to you, because it's only you who will be able to make the decision based on your feelings, and your gut is going to tell you, oh, I love it here. Oh, I don't like it here. Everyone talks so much, but I love it here. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you do all, and you want to try 3 months in each place. Who knows?
Yeah, we're totally neutral on our tours, because we, like, if you move here or not, it's totally irrelevant to us financially. So we give you the facts. We're going to show you some things that aren't so pretty in Panama, and you're going to see some bad service, and you're going to see it's not all, you know, perfect.
Yeah.
And it's our job to show you Panama. If Panama speaks to you one way or another, then we've done our job.
But that means for some negative you might see or experience, that could be an opportunity for something positive.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you don't like sometimes the service in a restaurant. Hey, if you want to open a restaurant and train people, that could be a grain of sand for the culture here. Simple stuff like that.
Yeah.
Great.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm kind of new to the group and I came in kind of late because I was working. Good evening to everyone. And actually, I have like a bunch of questions that I have in my head, but I'm glad that we're having this and there's this opportunity. Okay, first of all, I'm not retiring yet, but I want to move to Panama.
Yes.
And I will be working remotely from home mainly. So my first question will be, how long can I be in Panama without adjusting my status, number one. Number two, how reliable is the internet services? Hence, I depend on that for my work. I have to work remotely. And then, well, those two questions to start.
Well, I can answer that for you because I did that 9 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was from Canada. I was an online marketer. I had my own business. I checked it out. Internet here is no word of a lie. Besides some power outages, it's really good. We can get, if you're off the main highway throughout the country, you can get up to 1,000 megabit speeds here. Now, I run 160 megabit internet. And my cable bill is $54 a month, and that includes 200 TV channels and a phone line and 160 meg internet. It is stable, the speed's good. I have backup battery in case the power goes out, okay? You can stay here for 180 days if you, like US or Canadian passport, before you have to leave for supposedly 30. But you would qualify quite well, just like I did, for the Friendly Nations visa.
Question. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So Canada is also a friendly country?
I'm actually Canadian.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, my question will be, when I go into immigration that I arrive, what will I put in how long are you, they're going to ask me, how long are you going to be in the country?
179 days.
I can say that? I can actually respond that?
Like you can put, like, they don't look at it. Put 5 months. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to, you know. But if you decide to come here and start your visa process right away, you will have your visa before that time is up. You won't ever have to leave if you don't want. And the best thing, are you Canadian or American?
Well, I'm an American, but my father is Canadian, is French Canadian. So I have both.
Yeah, one of the best things is in Panama, there's a territorial tax system. So if the income you're earning here is not from Panamanian sources, you do not require a work visa and you do not have to pay tax here.
Correct. So it will be, I will be just going, and I can say I'm going to be the 6 months I'm going to be there. I can answer that, and then as soon as I get there, I can start working on my what type of visa? The friendly visa?
They might require you a ticket back.
Right.
A return ticket. So, and then yeah.
You just say you're exploring the country for as a residency option.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can hear you.
Say that you're, checking out Panama as possibly for your residency.
Okay.
They might require you to show that you have a ticket out of the country as a tourist, but there are ways, you get one that has free cancellation within 24 hours.
Right. Okay. And okay, so I mean, I've been there multiple times, and I love Boquete. Actually, that's like my that's like my north. That's where I want to retire. But in Panama, I will be staying probably in Panama City. So like, how much will be normal, like rent and expenses, 1 bedroom furniture place?
In Panama City? Panama City, well, depends the location, but it could be from $750 right now to $1,500. If you want more fancier, $2,500, $3,500.
Yeah.
If you want to stay in the JW Marriott Tower, that's $2,500 pretty much. But if you stay in the Cangrejo area, you can still find a decent option to bathroom, like under $1,000.
Yeah. If you're a single in Panama City, your minimum budget would probably be $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
You shouldn't think anything less.
Full
In Boquete, that's probably drops to $1,500 a month. In places like David, Pedasí, even down to 12. Now those are realistic numbers, guys. I'm not international living. My budget is online, and you guys can go see it under cost of living articles on our website. And the budget that I moved here with is posted online, and you can live in Boquete on $1,500 a month.
Okay.
All depends how you want to live.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to move on to some other questions. They're building up here in the chat. Chris would like to know about private health insurance options.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Chris, where are you? Let's see who I'm talking to. Oh, there we go. Yeah, private health, you have, all depends on your age. I can't give you quotes, sorry. I'm going to give an estimate, but 3 types. One is full health insurance. That means international coverage around the world. Best private hospitals in Panama and around the world. That's available. Someone who's 60 years old, you're going to pay around $400 a month for that. Then you're going to move into catastrophic, which means you pay for your doctor's visits, you pay for your prescriptions, you pay for the base, if you had to get a lab test or x-ray or something, but it covers 100% hospitalizations, emergencies, accidents, heart attacks, everything, cancers, and post-care and stuff like that, with 0 deductible in Panama and let's say 5,000 deductible worldwide. You'd be paying around $200, $225 a month. Now I'm saying somebody's 60. I have that insurance. I'm 56. I pay $156 a month. So I'll give you some actual numbers there. There's other options for older people that are over, 70 that might not qualify for international health insurance. That we have private hospitals that have insurance. It's a co-pay system, more similar to what a lot of you have at home, where you pay 30% and the insurance company pays 70%. And then there is just all out catastrophic. It covers 8 different things. I can't even list some of them because they're complicated. Heart attack, cancer, stroke, kidney disease, stuff like that. And that can be as little as $100 a month, and for someone who's around 60. available, or you can use the public healthcare system and wing it. Public healthcare system here is really inexpensive. Is it that good? I'm not going to say here it is. I'm sorry. Will you die in the hallway? Probably not, but you might be waiting a long time for a surgery. You might be in a room with 8 other people on bunk beds recovering. They might not have pain medication for you that day. So public health care may not be for you. It's what most Panamanians use.
Yeah, well, there is no a little bit not as extreme, but it is challenging. And it can be because the language barrier, you know, all the nurses, they're not bilingual. So if you don't domain the language, it's going to be a very tough situation for you guys. Yes, you can get an appointment for $2, maybe a procedure for 50 cents, but you need to also, like, in order to get an appointment, sometimes in the public healthcare, you got to do like the other Panamanians do. Go in line, 5 in the morning, sometimes even earlier, and wait until 8 until they start receiving first come, first serve. You have to go through that. Depends of the area of Panama, it will be less stressful or more complicated. Me, I was actually I've been using public healthcare, and it wasn't, thank God, because I know a little bit how to like swerve my way around in the system. And my son was born in a public hospital, but I just knew who to talk to, how to talk to in facility, just make things quick. And for me, my experience was positive, but I knew how to do it, and I domained the language. And my total bill was $150 just for a baby being born, and I spent 5 days and he was an incubator, and he was premature, so $150. And they still asked me if I want to do payments.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, I may have interrupted somebody there. Have the medical services expanded in Boquete beyond what they were, let's say, 5 years ago? And if so, are they connected with any of the services or private hospitals down in David?
No, has been more options. We have now in the private small clinics, bilingual staff that has been evolved.
They open 24 hours now, right?
They do, but that's for very basic stuff. If it's something major, the best shot is just take a ride or call the ambulance. But the ambulances sometimes can be inconsistent because it's only 1 or 2 ambulances. If they're doing an emergency at that time to David, that means you have to wait all that for them to come back. So sometimes the best chance is, you know, part of the being in the community is you know, have the contacts and reliable people that can probably assist you.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Could you all name some private insurance companies, or do you send that out in your emails?
We actually don't name them. This is what happens when we have almost 100 people several times in emails, and we give out referrals to our insurance agents and lawyers. They start getting emails and calls about relocating to Panama. So you have to go to our website and fill out the appropriate form, and I'll directly connect you. And,
okay. Thank you very much.
And I think you were looking for that too. Let me give you a connection to somebody. Just go to Retire in Panama Tours. You'll see on the other menu, you'll see healthcare and insurance, and we can connect you with some proper people. Even if you're looking for rentals and real estate, we have those guys too. And it's best that we just connect it like that. Because last time I said a health insurance thing, our lady phones us the next morning. Rod, I got 6 emails about moving to Panama that have nothing to do with insurance. So she's forwarding them to me. It's just a problem.
I have a quick question here in reference to car rentals.
Go for it.
I'm looking at I'm going to be there about 4 weeks to 6 weeks in Boquete, flying into David, and should I rent a car in David or do it outside of the airport? I mean, the car rentals themselves are obviously relatively inexpensive. It's the insurance. What can you tell me about that?
Be prepared.
Yep.
Recently, right now, we don't know why. I think it's an inventory problem with the rent-a-car places. They were closed in Panama for 5 months. They don't have all the inventory yet. And you're looking at $1,200 to rent something from the major thrift, BP, budget, stuff like that for a month. It's insane. Now, we have a rent-a-car place in Panama, in Boquete. It's called Value Motors. You can check them out. They got cheaper quotes. There's a Cherokee Rentals. There's another one that might have some availability for you. And they're more $45 a day type people on short term, and then 25, 30 on long term. But it is the law in Panama that you must buy the mandatory insurance. Your credit card does not cover it. If you somehow convince the guy at the counter to let your credit card cover it, they're going to try to put a $10,000 hold in your credit card that isn't coming off until they know there was not one scratch on that car. And if there is a problem, you're going to be fighting with your credit card company and the rental agency for 6 months.
So you're saying there's a hold now on a lot of rental cars?
Well, they're just slowly getting them back all into service. They all got molded and sitting and closed up, and they don't have inventory, so the prices are very high right now.
Okay.
So you can, and the best way to get a price, don't go to budget.com. Go to Google Budget Panama or Avis Panama or Alamo Panama. Go to the direct site, switch it to English. You'll get the exact cost there with the insurance.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Allison would like to know what kind of shots should be gotten before traveling to Panama.
Tequila. Oh.
Yeah, really. It's not necessary.
Oh.
Okay. What?
Yeah,
don't need
that's
to.
the short answer. There's nothing required.
Nothing.
Okay,
Thank you. Tequila sounds good.
Yes, sir, Dave.
yeah. After having heard the rental car thing, how much would it cost for me to find a person who rents themselves out with a car to drive us around for a day, 5 days, whatever, on like a per day basis?
That's a great question.
Like with a private driver with a vehicle?
Yeah.
Oh, it depends. You can find, it depends if you're moving in one area, if you're going from different provinces. Because if you just say you want to drive around, let's say, Boquete per se or Chiriquí, and you're leaving for 8 hours and coming back at the same point A, it'll be one rate. If you, let's say, okay, we're leaving Boquete and I'm going to Boquete, Pedací, then Pedací, and then it's going to be a different rate. So you're looking per day between the cheapest, probably 250 to 350, depends on who is doing the job per day.
Okay. And that includes their gasoline and all that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would be looking basically as a person to, I would be looking for a person in the Panama City area, probably five days. And then a different person after, I'm going to be on the tour with you guys the whole time. But when the time comes to leave Boquete to go to David, I'd be looking for a person. Maybe I just get real estate people to drive me
Send us
around.
an email. We can help you out with that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, connect, because we can connect you, Dave. If you want to send info at retireinpanamatours.com. We got some people in Panama. If you're not going any distance, the cost is obviously.
No, we'd always be returning to the same spot every night.
Yeah.
For every day.
Speak English?
Pardon? Yeah, it'd be preferable. I can. Yo puedo hablar un poco español.
Yeah.
Pero,
Okay. But
Oh.
in Boquete here, if you want to see some stuff and some properties, send me an email and I can connect you with the right people for that.
Yep.
too.
We can make that happen.
And they'll drive you around. Okay.
And someone that is going to take care of you guys for sure.
all right, that sounds good. We'll We'll definitely do that. I mean, after hearing this potential nightmare of car rentals, I'm not sure if I want to get into that or not. I don't mind paying somebody a fair price to drive us around, talk to us, and get us back home every night. So
Yeah. Beautiful.
good.
All right, so Jeremy has been here since November 2019 on a tourist visa and has been told all fines are being waived for the time being. Is this true?
The newest date's January 31st.
Okay.
Jeremy? Yeah, the newest date's January 31st. You need to exit by January 31st. They go fly to Colombia. That's a nice country, Oscar.
It is.
Yeah,
It's very affordable to fly there.
I know you're supposed to be gone 30 days. I can't tell you to break that rule, but most people just go to Colombia or San Jose, Costa Rica for 3 or 4 days and come back. It's the land borders where they really monitor that 30 days.
And they're
Do you know if the fines would be, let's say I didn't leave January 31st, would the fines be like retroactive, or would they just be?
That's a good question.
Retroactive. Well, let's say as far as it is right now, my understanding is $50 per month.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay. You have to make sure you do it before you leave, because if you go through customs, immigration is going to why you passed your time. If you didn't, then you're not going to pay right there. You need to go to immigration beforehand. You plan to leave and literally confess.
Okay.
I've been here a month extra. I need to, so they basically, what you get your passport registered in the system, you're going to be in the system saying you overextended your tourist visa and you pay the fine, and they'll give you a stamp in the passport and say register, and that one is your proof for immigration, so they don't give you a hard time leaving the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any good practical or inexpensive way to ship items from the U.S. into, say, Boquete?
For now, I mean, the shipping through ocean is the most
big item, small item. What kind of weight we're talking here?
A tank?
Household items, maybe a couple pieces of furniture and artwork, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cheap.
Yeah, there are good ways. It's not going to be cheap. You're looking at $2 to $3 a pound minimum, and that will be on ocean freight.
Yep.
And will that get all the way inland, all the way into Boquete, or is that just going to get me to a port?
No, all the way to Boquete. If you're just looking for a few pieces, or if you're looking for a pellet, if you can properly get that boxed up and pelletized to a 4x4 8 pellets, then you can get a better rate, because then you can get on a shared container.
All right, cool, thanks.
Yeah, we have some people, again, info at Retire in Panama Tours, and we can send you some contact guys for both shared containers and individual bulky shipments for ocean freight.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh my goodness.
I have a question. What about the mail? Like the mail that I receive here in the U.S. to be sent to Panama? Do you have like some type of contact here in the U.S. or in Panama that can provide those services?
We actually have a mailboxes, etc., which if you subscribe and pay the subscription monthly, and then they'll give you a box, and you have a Miami address, and they're shipping from there to.
It's a forwarding service.
Forwarding service, yeah.
Yeah, Mailbox Etc. works around the world. We have one in Boquete. Every little town and city has one in Panama. Their fee is, I like them. I've used them for 9 years, and a lot of people said, well, the other guys are cheaper. Well, not really. If you bring a lot of stuff in, they're good, because they charge you by the gram, not by the shipment. But they also do all your letter mail. So you would change your mailing address to a Miami address that they give you. You get one address for letter mail, one for box shipments, like Amazon shipments, stuff like that. And your mail, let's say your bank statement will go to that new address, and it'll arrive in your Boquete box or your Coronado box in 4 days.
Thank you.
So Doug would like to know if bills are paid in cash or if we can pay rent and electric from a bank account transfer.
Sorry?
Many options there. Rent is going to depend on your landlord. My landlord, I have to pay cash. Oscar's landlord, he can send a bank transfer. Bills have online. We have as sophisticated online banking as you guys do. We can do bill pay online. I can pay the cable bill through the Cable Onda app. My phone is paid through an app. So, I don't stand in line to pay any bill.
A lot of people still do.
A lot of people still do. Oh, yeah. Like some of the lineups on Payday are ridiculous. Like they're around the corner. People to go pay their $20 electrical bill. It just drives me nuts. I could not spend that much time. Okay, we got to get through these questions.
No, we've got a lot.
Don't go to Romero's on a Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we get around Boquete without a car? Uber, taxi? Do you have to rent a car? What's the deal?
If you want independency, better to rent a car. We don't have Uber in Boquete. There is basically only Panama City. David, I think they were doing it, but it's not 100% up confirmed. Taxis, yes, there is taxis here. They're not as reliable. Even if you have the one phone number, some of them they'll tell you, I'll be there in 15 minutes. No.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And and 2 hours later, they'll say, I'm right there. I'm really right there. 5 hours later, it's not there. So better if you don't want to be holding on of that one, better rent a car or just hire a private driver with the transport that will be more reliable. Mm-hmm.
The bus system is very reliable. So if you want to use the Boquete David bus to get back and
between
forth.
Boquete and David,
yeah,
it's very reliable. Or between, like, if you live in Jaramillo and you want to come down to Boquete downtown, that's gonna be a fun long wait. Oh yeah.
Get a bike. You can get in shape.
There we go.
Yes, yes.
Or electrical one. That also works.
Either.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see, what else do we got? Anyway, from Janine and Paul, that a dog can be brought in as a certified emotional assistance guide dog.
Yep.
Yep.
We just did it. You go online, you fill out the certificate, you have the shrink talk to you. I think the shrink talks to your dog for a little bit too, and you get a certificate.
We'll chat privately about that, Rod. We're going to hire you for our animal services.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Thank
we just did it for somebody in October.
Yeah.
Well, we just saw 2 on Spirit Airlines when we came back, and we're like, okay, that's the way the dog's going because we need her.
Yeah, if you guys need a shrink, we got lots of referrals there.
Yeah. No, we need the dog. We need the dog. Thank you. We'll be working with you on the dog.
Perfect.
Milton would like to know, if I were to settle in Petitsi, is there a local airline that flies to Tocumen from Petitsi?
Nope.
There's a private strip if you own your own plane, Milton.
Or if you want to hire someone probably with a small plane, a small, one propel.
It's gravel, so yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's according to the pronostics, if the cattle ranch is going to open the land strip for you.
But the tray has, pre-COVID, I don't know how often they are now, has a daily flight from with Air Panama from Chitray to Panama City.
But not to Tocumen.
Oh no, yeah, but then you got to transfer to Tocumen.
Exactly.
So you're not totally.
Do you recommend different people to buy a car from, or a company, or anything like that?
To buy a car or to rent?
Do we recommend anyone to buy a car from?
Well,
buy a car.
No, not really. I mean, if you want to recommend, I'll recommend the dealership. Depends on the brand. But personally, I've been doing the service for some more clients and some other people that just hire me because I have some knowledge of mechanics and I know how to discover things that people might not see. And I have done it this, get in the car, you tell me what year, what brand, what color, what kind of transmission, and I'll find it for you. Some people do it like that. You can do it by yourself, but it's a tricky area. It's a tricky side. If you buy from let's say Toyota, then you go to Toyota to a dealership, and they have a section. They have a second-hand vehicles certified by them. That's the difference. You can go there, eye closed, you will pay a little more, but they will guarantee you the car is in excellent condition, and also they will give you a guarantee from the dealership. If you want to save some money, so there is deals out there, but you need to, like, if you know precisely how to do paperwork and how to check the car, so you don't get a monkey business under, then you can do it yourself, or you can hire someone like me and get it done properly.
Yeah, for sure. Buying a used car here for a new person is buyer beware. Go through a broker the first time, learn the ropes. Just registering it and getting your plates is it's a whole new scary DMV story for you.
It's a huge gray zone.
Yeah.
Remember the gray zone? And that one is like this big.
Yeah. I think Oscar did my first 3 plate registrations. It took me 3 or 4 years before I would venture out and do it my own.
Yeah, I've done some crazy red tape cutting. Especially, it took me 6 months to re-import or re-export from Panama to United States. A FJ cruiser was brought in, and they did the paperwork a little bit wrongly to Panama. It took me 6 months. There was no paperwork, but I make my way to find the paperwork, get all the details, get all the paperwork straight, and ship it back to the United States. Booyah.
Okay, a quick answer for Gay. There are not any flights from Bocas to David currently, just from Panama City to Bocas.
Yes.
Karen would like to know how many of the 250 cable channels are in English as opposed to Spanish.
Oh, I know that one. There's a little trick even people that live here don't know. On your cable modem, once you get it, if your installer knows English, you ask him to set the cable modem to English. If he doesn't, you find the English-Spanish menu. It's not that difficult. You go to secondary audio and select English. Surprise, out of the 200 channels, 60 of them are now broadcasting in English. The the TV units are set, obviously, in Panama to Spanish dubs. So channels like, what's the American channels? Warner Brothers, Sony, all those are all broadcasting in Spanish, but they all have English audio because it's all digital cable here. So you'll get those, you'll get CNN, Fox, you'll get all the HBOs if you pay for it. You'll get 4 to 10 different movie channels. And I do it in hotels.
Package,
yeah, I always change it in hotel to English. I'm sure I get in trouble because, the next Panamanian family comes in and they can't figure out how to change it back. So there are, like I say, 60 decent channels that are, and if you're learning Spanish, hey, watch some Spanish TV.
I have a question in reference to the cars, and it brings me up to the driver's license. With a tourist visa, I mean, is there like an international, I don't know, driving permit over there? And I mean, how does it work?
You only work, as a tourist, you only work for 90 days.
Your international driver's license will work for 90 days.
But they don't recognize international driver's license. They recognize your US or Canadian drive license. You can show the international drive license, but it's still attached to your 90 days.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can drive either over 90 days. The only way you can get over that is when you're a resident and you can apply for a Panamanian drive license.
Also, I can apply for a Panamanian driver's license?
If you're a resident.
Once you become a temporary resident, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The international driver's license, folks, don't get caught up in that and pay that $50. It's a sham, really. All it is a translation of your valid driver's license.
Yeah.
It is worth nothing without the valid driver's license. So the police here first look at your actual state driver's license, and they look at your stamp on your passport. Oh, you're over 90 days. You don't have a license, we're towing your vehicle.
Mm-hmm. And you get a $150 ticket.
Plus, they tow the vehicle and the impound charges.
Yep.
Don't want to go that.
All right, Allison would like to know how windy is Boquete. It seems to be like the favorite place to move. Are there any other places that expats gravitate towards?
Windy.
Especially in November, right now we start getting the winds.
Yeah.
From December through March, it can be pretty windy.
Yeah, because we have, Panama is such a narrow country. and it's very close Pacific from Atlantic, and we have a lot of strong north winds. So it can be windy. I mean, it's nice. It's not like you cannot hold yourself, but you know, it's nice. It's nothing too bad. Some areas might be a little windier than others, but
Really, your lawn furniture blows into my yard in January. That's really how windy it is. He's under exaggerating. No, I don't like wind, and I'm probably over exaggerating.
just because I was holding just from a tree,
But
when they'll go
January,
away, that doesn't
February,
mean it's strong.
March here in the area we live, like in Bajo Boquete, there's nothing. Like my bit of hair I have doesn't even blow. But in Alto Boquete, just along the canyon, we're about a block away from the canyon, it can be 40, 50 mile an hour sustained winds for 5 days here.
Sometimes,
Just blowing through. We're both lucky because we got back decks that are sheltered from it, so we can still sit outside and enjoy the barbecue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but things do blow. But-
Expats really like Boquete. Other popular areas are Coronado,
Mhm.
Panama City, Pedasí, but people choose to relocate all over Panama.
Yeah.
Okay, we are 7 minutes away. We are going to, in 2 minutes, announce. So if you could scan those questions, I got the, I'll get the transcript of that. And if we missed anything, I will include it in tomorrow's email, because I'm going to announce, drop the link for the tour openings we have in January and February. And if anyone wants to come, if based on what we talked about earlier, you feel that it's safe to come to Panama now, feel free to book one of these tours. They're going to go on sale tomorrow to the general
And if you
public.
want to just have a nice week, learning, having fun, enjoying new things, new culture, hey, that's the chance.
We got through a lot of the questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
is there any you can think of
I have
that
one.
are
Yes, Dave.
at the top?
This wouldn't be important to anybody but me, and I had one quick question, and
Yes, sir.
are there any racquetball courts in or near Boquete or David?
Yes, sir. We do have a professional racquetball at the resort of Valle Escondido.
And it's in Boquete or where?
Yes, Boquete. Yes, sir. In a inside
Outstanding.
resort.
That's a major draw for me. I've been playing since 1973.
There you
so.
go. And also, there's a lot of people that play, for some of you, pickleball. There's a small league of pickleball.
Yeah, I know what pickleball is. That's not pickleball's for
But-
sissies.
But racquetball, yes, is a very cool room. So,
It's good to know.
Say hi to them if you want to say any words.
so Dave,
Yep.
you want to say some words, some
We've got
disaster
some
words?
new Boquete newcomers on
To say-
tonight.
oh
Yeah,
We're calling you guys out.
At the
They're
bottom
calling
of your screen, we have Dave and Bridget, and we have Donna,
Donna.
who moved to Boquete 3 weeks ago,
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, we've been here 5 weeks now.
5
So
weeks.
we're in our 5th week.
Yeah.
So Bridget and I were on the first tour in 2019, and we had planned to come back, but COVID happened. So as far as the questions about COVID, I feel way safer here than we did in Seattle. Every place you go, you get temperature checked. Every place you go, they spray something on your hands. I'm not sure what it is all the time, but they spray something on your hands.
You hope he says,
So, and he's right. The wearing of the mask is like 99%. Pretty much everybody wears them. So it's pretty safe here, I feel. And I came from public health. So I feel pretty safe here as far as COVID goes. As far as cost of living, as long as you're not buying American products, it's way cheaper grocery wise than in the US. But if you need your Cheerios or, some US brand, you just got to have it, it's going to cost you because they have to ship it in here. Weather has been great except for the 2 hurricanes that sideswiped us. But otherwise, I mean,
You've been here, guys. Dave's seen as many hurricanes as Oscar and I.
Yeah.
So Dave, how does the humidity affect you?
We have a dehumidifier. We're up on Harmilla Central, and it's pretty damp, but as long as you keep the air flowing through and don't close your place up and use a dehumidifier, you'll be fine. We haven't had any mold or mildew or anything. Our dehumidifier takes a lot of water out of there, about 8 gallons a day.
Wow.
But again, just keep the air flowing through. because that's what causes the mold is no airflow.
I read
So
a lot
it's not
about,
bad.
yeah, I was reading a lot about mold and mildew and ruining your clothes and the food doesn't last.
Yeah, it's about the dew point.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, it's all about the dew. It's all about the dew point for the mold. If you close your house up and don't have any air moving through it, you're going to get mold. So you just have to work on that. Other than that, I mean, we love it. We're here for 6 months. Try before you buy, and make sure that this is the place. And I think it is so far. We're really enjoying it here. And to go back to the legal documents, if you think you get a residency, start on it. Get a lawyer and get busy on it. We did ours ahead of time. Our lawyer had us send our documents to an expediter that she worked with in California and got everything stamped and down to her in a couple weeks. And week after next, we get our temporary card. So do as much as you can before you get here. Thanks, all that stuff.
Perfect. Okay, guys, I posted that link in the chat.
Oh, Donna.
Just hang on one second. I posted that link in the chat if anyone wants to come on the tour. And Donna, why don't you say hello? What brought you here? It's been also 5 weeks for you.
Hi there. Well, I vacationed in Panama a number of times and made the decision that once I retired that I wanted to make the move. And one of my best decisions was to go ahead and take the tour because that gave me the concrete information on how to go about making the move and to have the contacts for real estate, Sherry Shearett, and through the attorney and for, hi there, and insurance and that kind of thing. And so I'm in process of getting my bank account set up. I just rented a car this week. Working with the same attorney that Dave and Bridget are working with, and get my temporary visa the first week of December. And, so I was talking with a friend who said it's kind of like a big egg scramble, only it doesn't cook quite that fast. It's taken a little while, but I really enjoy it here. I live, Dave and Bridget and I are next door neighbors here in Jaramillo Centro, and it's lovely, and the dehumidifier is an absolute must. Yeah, so I'm getting settled in. I do enjoy it. One remark to one of the questions that came up about moving to Boquete and will it be too Americanized or too Canadian? I think one of my considerations was, where do I want to land? And so I worked with Sherry and found this casita that I'm in, and it's made a very good spot to land, to arrive and get everything set up. And then, I may look at moving to elsewhere in Boquete, or perhaps elsewhere in Panama, because I like El Valle a lot. So there's a difference between where you start off and where you might be 6 months or 1 year or 2 years down the line. So I chose what I thought would make sense for me and be easiest for me to navigate all this change, because it is change, a lot of change. So thanks, Donna.
Thank you, Donna.
I have a question, Mr. Dave Nichols, I believe, and Ms. Donna. Is there a possibility you can send me the information on the attorney that you worked with in Panama? From what I am understanding, you're getting your permits even before you got there?
They used our attorney.
Yes.
No, so there's a lot of stuff you have to. There's a lot of stuff you have to do to get your residency visa, but all I'm saying is start the paperwork before you move here. Rod can connect you with the lawyer. So email Rod at Inside Retired Panama Tours, and he'll connect you.
Yeah, I just put the email again in the chat. We are going to get shut down by Zoom here. It's an hour and 30-minute call. We've gone an hour and 32, and they're getting mad. So now we just get a countdown here. We really appreciate everyone coming and joining us today. Hey, Karen. And we want to see you all again. Send us your questions, any concerns you have, questions about Panama. We are here to help you out. Book a tour, come with us in January or February, or how about next year, 2022? We actually got people booking for next year. It's kind of silly.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Thank
All
you
right.
for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you very
everybody.
much.
Guys.
Have a good night.
Buenas
Good to
noches.
see everybody.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Listen, bye-bye.